Hey everybody, welcome back to Hot Rod's Recipes. I'm Rodney. Today I'm going to show you how to make some homemade turkey tostadas. Seasoned ground turkey, refried beans, cheese, tomato, lettuce, avocado. Top it off with some sour cream and even green onions if you want. Sound good? Let's get started. Alright, so let's get started. I got my new skillet here, my hexaclad skillet that I've wanted for a long time. Heat it up. I'm just going to add the ground turkey. Let's heat up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to brown the ground turkey, and then once got it nice and brown, I'm going to add some seasoning to it. So this is looking pretty good. Most of the pink is gone, and the reason why I'm not too worried about that is that we're going to season it, the meat, and then we're going to let it simmer. But before we do so, if you happen to have a lot of excess grease or water in the bottom, liquid basically in the bottom of your pan, you may want to empty it. You just don't want too much of that in the meat. Alright, so I like where that's at. So first thing I'm going to do is add the seasoning, which is basically a bunch of taco seasoning. And then I'm going to add a little bit of water. I usually need about 3/4 of a cup. I'm going to play it by ear here for this recipe. Since I buy my turkey in bulk, it may not be quite a pound of ground turkey. So I'm going to mix this up with my spoon here. You could use your spatula if you want, or your whatever you were using to cook the meat. One of my kitchen quirks is I switch up, and I like to use a spoon for this part so I can continue to break up the meat, but also move the meat in the juices. So I'm going to let this go a little bit more and let it simmer to give it all that flavor. I'm just going to spread this out and let it go for a couple minutes here. It's another stir. I want to make sure all the turkey has a chance to sit in the seasoning. Alright, so this meat is done. I probably added just a bit too much water. Doesn't really matter though, because when we build the tostadas, we're going to use a slotted spoon to scoop up the meat onto the tostada shells. So now that the meat's done, let's start building our tostadas. Alright, so time to assemble this bad boy. I have a pre-made tostada shell here. If you want to make your own, simply spray your tortilla on both sides with some cooking spray and bake for about 10 minutes at 350 or until it's brown and crunchy. But I'm using a pre-made. So step one is I'm going to put some of my heated beans here on the shell. Try to cover it up. You want to be careful not to press too hard on the shell or it will crack. Let's add a little bit more here. Okay, that looks good. Now I'm going to add the meat mixture that we made in the previous step. So let's get some of this down here. This is looking good. Let's be generous today with some of this ground turkey. There we go. Now I'm going to add a little bit of tomato. Use as much or as little as you want. It's going to be like a giant salad. There's a tomato. Some Mexican blend cheese. Probably shouldn't use that much, but that's okay. I'm going to add some lettuce. Squish this down a little bit here. I'm using an iceberg for this one. There we go. I'm going to add an avocado. Since I live in California, I have access to some nice homemade avocados. And finally, I'm going to top mine with a little sour cream. Just a dollop. And there you go. There's a homemade turkey tostada. Now, doesn't that look good? You're gonna have to dig in here. But I got a favor to ask. If you enjoyed this video, please do me a favor and hit the like button, but also the subscribe button. It really, really helps us out. Now let's dig into this bad boy. Get a little bit of everything here.